Lord, we ask your blessing upon all veterans and their families. Grant them strength, healing, and the peace that passes understanding. As we gather today, guide our thoughts and actions. May our time together be a fitting tribute to their legacy.
I always like to remind people that less than 1% puts that military uniform on every year. 1% between active duty, National Guard, reserves. It's a little over 2 million. Think about that number, 2 million for a country that's roughly about 345 million Americans. To defend our freedoms, to agree to disagree, to believe in whatever God you want to believe in, to be whoever you want to be, to speak up, to protest. You don't have to agree with it, but they have the right to do that because people put that uniform on and served this country. And you look at the Vietnam era at that time. They came home, they had to take their uniforms off before they got off the planes, before they came through the neighborhoods. There's no parades, there's no pats on the back, there was no nothing, you know, and that whole era. And for him to come back and build an extraordinary life, and they say this about veterans, they can live quietly, they can come back, they serve their country. They raised their right hand. They didn't do it for the medals, they didn't do it, they sure as hell didn't do it for the pay. Oh, the congressman's not here, I'm gonna get on. They, you know, they did it because they wanted to serve. But one thing that I've seen over the years, but especially as county executive, is what they do in the neighborhoods, what they do to give back, and how they give back. And they do it quietly. They go out in the communities, from volunteering for different sports to being the mayor of Ramsey, to walking around, right? To checking on people, to helping people. That's what a veteran's about, you know? And it's that what makes it so resilient for a lot of these, you know, for communities. And you know, the impact that someone like him has on the neighborhood and beyond the neighborhood, from everything that he's done in the community. You know, I don't think there's probably anyone in the city of Albany who doesn't know the mayor of Ramsey. I know there's a new guy trying to take the sheriff of Lark Street, but I can assure you, not the same way as your husband did. And to be over married 43 years says a lot. You know, especially today when you don't see that happening as much. Shows the love and dedication. But to the family, because you're the ones that sometimes get the brunt of a veteran more so than the community. You see the dark times, the hard times at night, the sleepless nights, the sweats, the nervousness, the jittering, and then you see the steady hand out in the community. And you know, and I always say that because my children have no problems reminding me constantly when I'm not being so nice at the house, you know, but it's hard. But to someone that, if you look around today, that left a legacy, and I don't think there's anyone in that community and beyond that community doesn't know it. And I can assure every kid that he helped cross the street probably knew he was the mayor of Ramsey, as he's escorting them and finding out what they're doing, and if they probably didn't have a jacket on or button up the jacket, put your gloves on. I could just hear it all now. It's an honor to stand here to just look at a snapshot of someone's life. And that's all it is. It's a snapshot. But it's the memories, it's the legacy. And I always say this, we do people disservice if we don't talk about them, if we don't honor them. So I do want to thank the honorary committee, to everyone that's been involved with this, to give us just a small glimpse into an extraordinary man that had an extraordinary journey and continues on with his family and his grandson. So thank you for letting us honor him today, and it's a privilege to give you our proclamation.
Thank you for allowing us to take a moment this morning on the other side of the 250th anniversary of the United States. Just say a hearty thank you to Clark Bill Henry, Jr. of the United States Navy, to recognize his service in the U.S. Navy and to the country. Congressman Tonko in our office requested that a flag be flown over the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C., which is poetic also because that building represents the very democracy and the freedoms that all of us enjoy in this country as free people. So on behalf of our office and Congressman Tonko, and on behalf of a grateful United States Congress, please accept this flag, and hopefully it reminds you of fond memories of Bill as you look at it. Thank you.
For such a young person to do that, to make those sacrifices again, is continuing that standard, right? Being that standard bearer during that time, you know, is a guiding post for many of us for future generations. So it's great that you get to be here. I'm sure that you hear about your grandfather quite a bit, but you know, following this history, remembering what he did at such a young age, I'm sure is going to be helpful for you later on during your life. And then when he came home, continuing a legacy of service, serving in the Postal Service for 40 years, helping out with the American Legion, becoming a crossing guard. Again, all continuing to set a standard of service for his community and his family. And those traditions, I'm sure, will be carried on for future generations.
What's important about this event that's conducted, not only here in Albany County, but in Rensselaer County and many other counties, it gives us an opportunity to really understand why our country is so great. It's individuals at such a young age make that decision to enlist in public service because of love of country, and just as importantly, come back and contribute to society. My fondest memories as a child is our postman, Joe Dingley, God bless him, would come through, and I'm sure Bill's the same way. He was the forerunner of Neighborhood Watch, when you really think about it.
I think it's such a tremendous honor for you, as this day and this month is when we are actually celebrating the birth of our country. And so your father, your husband, your grandfather, you're able to share this honor today and to be a part of this great commitment for the United States. So today we're gathered here to honor Mr. Clark Henry, who gave his life to continually to support the community he grew up in and loved dearly.
As mayor of this great city, as we recognize the unofficial mayor, I am privileged to proclaim today, Monday, July 6th, as Clark W. Bill Henry Jr. Day in the city of Albany. Congratulations to the family.
And without the service of those, such as Petty Officer Henry, it could have come to a different conclusion. Once he left the Navy, of course, he did, like so many of our veterans, return to his community where he became a cornerstone. He delivered the mail, and as was noted, I can't think of, especially out where I live, the mail carrier knows everything, so that's super important. I think in and of itself, that service is noteworthy and commendable as well. So it's an honor to recognize the service that stood against communist authoritarianism and defended against nuclear Armageddon. And so we wish him fair winds and following seas, and please accept this small and inadequate token of our appreciation this morning. Thank you.
He enjoyed a stint in the Navy, especially the plane ride on and off the USS Wasp once. He totally had respect for the huge, very loud guns. He unknowingly became a part of history, anonymously, during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Didn't much enjoy that, though. Later on, he became a very conscientious letter carrier, who wouldn't call in sick unless he was sick, and sometimes not even then. He made it hard to go to parties on Saturdays. We always went late, if at all. He made sure he did his job well through all kinds of weather and gained the respect of his patrons, many of whom fed and watered him on his route. He also enjoyed softball, first as a coach for the Ralph's girls teams, then playing for several years on the single ski club team. But his favorite thing to do once he was retired was sitting on his porch swing, chatting with passersby, especially the ladies who parked there to pick up their kids from school. The mayor of Ramsey Place, his moniker, he is missed. Thank you all for coming.